Totally new music and a new video, my beautiful one. Hello,
They
my
look great.
beautiful viewers. I hope you loved the video. I really enjoy making that video. But to select the music, oh my, I think I spent 2 hours for the right one to get to the right. I want it uplifting, and I want to make sure that when goes to the next page, so I had to do the timing. Oh my, I had so much fun. I spent 5 hours just on the video and I loved it. I loved it. But I'm not here to talk about the video. My beautiful co-host, beautiful Natalie, and myself are truly honored for both of our not just the show, but not just for the sponsorship, but for our beautiful author today. We're going to learn all about Michael's authorship and his amazing book. We're going to do the introductions in a few seconds, but I want to say thank you, my beautiful viewers, for watching us, taking the time to view our show. And then thank you for your interaction on E360 TV. Please, down below in the show notes, click down there, and then you will find Michael's book. You will find his blur to his book, and also a link to where you'll be able to buy it. Not only on Amazon, but you can go to his own website and you can get a signed copy. So my beautiful ones, I am truly excited. So my beautiful co-host, I am going to let you start the show by introducing yourself, and then you can ask a beautiful Michael to introduce himself. And then Michael, when you pass the baton back to me, I'm going to play beautiful, our sponsor's masterpiece video. Natalie, all over to you.
Thank you, Sanette. That intro is divine, gorgeous. Okay, well, I am Natalie Chilton, and I am from Alberta, Canada, and I am an author. I wrote it down. I am an intuitive health coach and a truth coach, and I head up Freedom Legacy Project to assist domestic survivors to find a safe place. And I'm in partnership with Sowing Seeds Ministry in Pakistan, protecting girls and helping them to gain financial freedom by creating sewing pods and teaching education to produce linen and cotton freedom sheets. So this is on the agenda. It's a lot. And yes, grateful to be here. Michael, please just introduce yourself.
Hey,
You're so
everybody.
welcome to be here.
Michael LeBlanc. So my background's in social work. Oh, God, since 1987. Somebody out there can do the math. It's been a while. My work is really around helping people align with what I call that divine self, divine intelligence. And once you're aligned, and then kind of from there manifest your life and improvements. And I do that through my writing. So I have 3 books. I've been featured in about 6 other books, but I have 3 of my own. I do one-on-ones, and I do what I call guided energy meditations to help people kind of align with their divine self and manifest specifics in their own life. I teach workshops on kind of meditation, blessing your chakras, things like that. And then I have a whole corporate world. I do some consulting and training in around culture change and creating improved, safer work cultures. So that's kind of my different things I do.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I've experienced your meditation, so that's why I'm awing. Sanette, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, my beautiful co-host, Natalie. I'm Sanette from Bradar. I'm your voice amplifier. And do you know what I love to do? I love to create space and stages for incredible souls to come and give us their brilliance and their wisdom and tell us their amazing stories, because we never know what stories can save somebody's life. And through all these experiences, we create a ripple effect of joy, love, and happiness. So my beautiful Michael, I'm so excited you are here, and my beautiful Natalie, we are, you like you said, we're almost looking alike. So with clothing that we decided today, so it is such a pleasure. A pleasure. My beautiful ones, I want to say thank you to our sponsor, Masterpiece, and I'm going to play their video. Are you ready, my beautiful ones? Here we go. So sorry, it was the wrong one. Here I go again.
Filled with toxins in our air, water, and food, and cause you to feel off. Masterpiece cleanses these toxins out. Its natural blend of volcanic minerals removes the toxins and supports better sleep, focus, and energy.
It's compatible with your internal environment in which it goes. So you take 5 drops under the tongue twice a day.
It's clinically proven and has thousands of testimonials. Try it today.
Oh, thank you, my beautiful Masterpiece. So if I can start, so my beautiful, let me just quickly do this. My beautiful Michael, I've got a few questions, and Natalie as well. So
Sure.
I wanted to ask, when I was reading through Divine Dirt, and if you can show us the book, I wanted to bring up your beautiful cover, but it tells me it's in PDF. I forgot to take it off. So there it is. Please tell us why you decided to do this book, and then tell us about the photographs
Sure.
in the book, please.
Sure. So the whole way Divine Dirt got started. So I love to garden. I grew up on a farm. I've always loved to be in the dirt. And I started. I always journal. I'm always having to journal. Journal is my way of staying centered. It's my way of inspiring myself. It's my way of kind of reinforcing metaphysical, spiritual teachings and processing it and kind of embodying stuff. And I had started sharing some of the writings I was doing on social media, and I would just pair it with photography from my garden. And after a while, people kept responding to those, and it was like, hey, that really helped me today. And I was really struggling with something. It was like perfect timing. And I just kept getting all these just positive responses. And about a year or so later, I had a collection of these writings with a bunch of my photography. And I got the idea during a prayer and meditation to make a coffee table book. And so the first Divine Dirt book was formed. And it's my photography. And each chapter is its own page. There's gardening tips at the back, but there's photography throughout the book. And each chapter is its own just inspirational sharing, right? So that came out. I kept getting good feedback about it, and then got inspired to team up with another woman named Ann Bruce, who writes for McGraw-Hill. She's written like 28 something books. She loved Divine Dirt. So she wanted to work with me on a book project. And so I decided I wanted to do Divine Dirt Digging Deeper. And it's exactly the same. It's like you don't have an hour to be inspired by a book, but you do have a minute to just read, open it up, read a chapter. It's more photography in this one as well. The difference with Digging Deeper was each chapter has a exercise, a contemplation exercise. So the reader can take what they just wrote and apply it to their life by doing the exercises. So that's what this book is. And it has more, like this one's on creating a consciousness of gratitude and gratefulness. And it's using a Sanskrit kind of word that I kind of researched for it. But also for gardening lovers, flower lovers, the back of the book has gardening tips for all 100-something flowers featured in the book. So there's a phrase. I'm from South Louisiana, and we have a phrase called lagniappe, and it means a little something extra. And so both of those books have a little something extra in the back of the books. But that's how they came around. That's how they happened. Was
Wow.
just through sharing.
What is that word that you use for a little bit of extra?
It's a French, so Cajun French down here. It's called lagniappe, and it means a little something extra.
I love it.
I love that. I
So
love that.
the gardening tips were that little something extra that's in both of those books.
And how many photographs, how many plants that you are
Uh,
discussing in your book?
this one has over 100 flower photographs. Really, 98% of them are from my own garden. That's true for both books. Yeah. So, and I had one comment I wanted to share. One of your opening lines on your video was about changing lives, saving lives, kind of thing. And I had a mother email me about this book, and it was a pretty lengthy email, and we had met once, and I was on a vacation in Arkansas, and I gave her 2 copies, one for her sister, one for her. And this was months later, and I get this email from her, and she proceeds to tell me that when I met her, what I didn't know was her 30-something-year-old son had taken his life. And at the time, she was dealing with that because it was rather recent. And she was writing me to let me know that my chapter called Fear to Joy in 12 Minutes was the first thing giving her some relief from her grief. And it was one of those, it was so moving for me because I was hoping my books would be useful and helpful, but I never expected it to help someone go through something like that hard as losing your own child. So when I saw your video this morning and it had, it could change a life or save a life, it made me think of her story. So I just thought I'd share that. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Wow.
Yeah.
My heart overflows. My beautiful Natalie.
Yeah, that is amazing. We just don't know. We don't know our impact sometimes, but to trust, in the divine prompting to include something. Sometimes I wonder, why am I doing this? And then it reveals itself.
Yeah.
Thank you. That is so meaningful. Okay, well, this morning I've been pondering about your book. and one of the questions that I have is, when did this journey, was there a moment, was there a crossroads when you really started to dig deeper into your own spirituality and your own connection? Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah. No, you know what? I tend to just trust what comes to me when people ask questions. It's kind of like what intuitively is popping up. And in my 20s, I thought I was going to be a priest, and I dropped out of college to explore that and go live with. I was raised Catholic, so they had like different religious orders within the Catholic Church, and they had come and see programs, so you can go live with them like 2 weeks and check it out and stuff. And I decided through a few reasons like not to be a priest, but the spirituality piece was always just very strong with me. And I remember clearly having this just fight with God in my living room. And I was just mad. I was hurt. I was pissed. And I'm just like, you're fired. It's like, if you can't be useful to me while I'm here on earth, what good are you? I don't care about what's next. It's like, I need you useful now. And I just remember like being adamant about that. And I have a chapter in here called it was about the day I fired God. And it was that moment. I eventually went away. I went to grad school. I moved to another state. I moved to another town. I ended up meeting a group of people, though. They were in the Course in Miracles, and there was all this deeper spiritual growth that started happening with me. And that was in the 90s, and it's just continued since then. And I'm 63 now. And so so that though was a big part of it. It was like I wanted more, and then I got more, and I continue to get more.
Oh, that is gorgeous. Yeah, it's like looking for the right spiritual lane, you know? And I can see the light in your eyes, and I could totally see, the priestly spiritual leadership,
Yeah,
but in a
yeah,
different form. In a different
yeah.
form. Thank you for sharing. I'm learning so much about you. I love it.
Well,
Wow.
I'd prayed for signs to be a priest, and one of them was blue roses, and I'd never seen a blue rose in my life, so I was positive they didn't exist. So it's like, great, that's one of my signs. And one of those come and see programs I went to, in their living room of this house was a vase of blue roses, and and it was one of those like, oh no, 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 no. But even though I got the sign, I was still like, I knew I wasn't religious. I knew the Bible was like a source of spirituality, but it wasn't the only source for me. And at that time, I was coming to terms with being gay. And it's like, so all those reasons, it's like being a priest is probably not your best fit. And so even in my 20s, I had a little moment of wisdom. And then I met some people in social work. And it's like, well, at the end of the day, what was it about the priest that I liked? And it was about caring for others. And it's like, well, I can do that as a social worker without all the other stuff. And so that's kind of how all that played out.
That's
I love
perfect.
that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
Michael, I just had to skip 3 questions because all of that you have mentioned was part of questions I wanted to ask you. But I wanted to ask you the next question. What do you think people are craving most right now on a soul level?
I there's a part of me that just, it's so unique for each person. I don't trust a big answer. It's like what's going on for me in my journey is like, it might, I know there are other people in the same boat, but it's like there's billions of us out here. So to me, it's I do think it is what is it for you personally? What is that silent, strong voice within that we often distract from? Like we got too much noise going on to ever really hear it. We feel it, I think, often, and we feel those nudges of those impulses, but we're so quick to be outer focused and tuned into the outer life, if you will, that we're not practiced on how to listen to that. And so I think if there was a thread I would pull from that is how do I listen to it, hear it, believe it, trust it as a real thing? I mean, there was a number of years I grew up with God, and but I remember a clear moment in a meditation where the realness of it like struck me in the face. that divine intelligence was an actual real thing, and it was like I have no idea what I was believing in before that moment, but that was a very changing moment. But I think just across the thread I would pull would be whatever your own journey is, because I do think it's very different, is how do I tune into it and listen to it and follow it?
I love it. And the reason why I ask you this question, because most of your meditations, and Michael have done quite a few masterclasses for us as well, he always reminds us to come back to your heart center and ask your questions from your heart, not your mind. So I loved it. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. So
Yeah.
my beautiful Natalie, can I do the next question and then I will give you another chance? Thank you. In this book, you speak about moving from hope to believing to knowing. Why is this journey so important right now?
There was a woman she was a Rwanda genocide survivor. and she wrote a book called Left to Tell or something like that. And I got to meet her, and I went to one of her retreats. And as I read her story and as I listened to her, so this is the chapter you're referring to. And this is I kind of created a model in the chapter. And I call it the believe line. And it's like, where am I in this believe line? Am I at the belief and knowing, or am I below it where it's hope and wishing and doubt? And I feel personally we can deliberately, if we're below the line, we can deliberately journey ourselves above the line. But when I met her and I heard her story of how she survived, like people trying to kill her, like just outside this house she was hiding in and stuff. And there was this place she would touch that to me was she was in a place of knowing, and it tastes so different than belief and hope. It's just pure knowing, and in that place she just experienced this miraculous, like she was not ever noticed and found by the people with machetes truly trying to murder them. And as I was listening to her, I think, I don't know, most of us, I think, have had moments of like knowing and belief and, and it was this sort of passion grew to want to know more than believe and hope and stuff. And that inspired this whole piece in my experience with her, and that I don't know how to live there. I don't know how to live in that place of knowing. I can practice it more often though. And it's so yeah, so that's the story. It tastes very different to be in a place of knowing versus believing versus hoping and doubting and wishing. And so like they all emotionally feel different, and they're all different levels of consciousness to me. So yeah, I don't know if that answered your question, but that's all that
Yes.
said it.
Wow. My beautiful viewers, I must just tell you.
And this is the woman.
Yes.
I got this urge when I was listening to her to give her a gift of my book, but I wanted it to be a pure gift. Like I didn't want anything from it. And again, that feels a certain way within you, because you can do something because you're trying to get something, and you can do something just because you want to give something. And I wanted to make sure I was in that place and not trying to get something from her. And I was asking kind of the divine for a sign, and she just immediately after I remembered doing that, she started talking about gardening and and flowers, and I was like, all right. Sign noted. And so we just had this beautiful exchange. This picture's me holding her book, she's holding my book, and it was just a kind of a special moment. So
I do believe if you give without expecting, and I go with this, it's almost in a normal day, I don't expect, and I love to give, that it make it even more special. So thank you. But it is a beautiful story, and it's an eye-opening, because knowing it's a different energy, a different frequency. I love that. Thank you.
And then
My beautiful,
no.
yeah, Michael.
No, I was just gonna say there is an exercise in the book that kind of guides you. It's almost like a thought journey. How do I keep reaching for the improved thought that can bring me to this elevated place? And the paying attention to how you feel as you think is sort of the key. The feelings let me know if I'm shifting consciousness or not. It's kind of like why you can say an affirmation and still feel like crap, because it's not shifting you. It's just words. And if I can use the words though to shift me emotionally, the emotions are what's letting me know I'm shifting my self-conscious, like I'm shifting to a new place of consciousness, if that made sense.
Natalie?
I'm trained in hypnotherapy, and you're hypnotizing me. Like,
Natalie, can I tell you
I know what
something,
you're
Natalie?
doing.
Natalie, can I tell you what happened to me? So I asked Michael to be on my first Thursday show. That's even more than 2 years ago. Michael, can you remember? Oh my goodness, I never experienced Michael's meditation. It was his first meditation that I experienced. I had a spit coming down my mouth. I almost were out, and we were alive. That was not a recording, Michael. Can you remember? It was live. And I just tried to make my feet like this to stay not alive, but to stay awake. It was beautiful. I'm so sorry, my beautiful Natalie. I just thought, let me tell you how incredible Michael's voice and presence is. You are welcome to continue.
Oh, you don't have to tell me. I was at Michael's master class, and I experienced a literal healing. So highly recommended the master class, and just further exploration.
Thanks.
My goodness, that's so much. And I will share personally that back in 2013, I moved to Edmonton, and part of my thing is, I bake cookies and then I want to share them, right? So I'd go to my neighbor in the city that I don't even know and I'd give them cookies. And so I met this man, and he was actually a survivor of the massacre, the Rwandan massacre, and he had hidden in a closet, and we became friends. And yeah, so it's so touching to meet these miracles who survive such things, right? And the knowing you're mentioning, and this is part of my journey. Recently, I heard faith is trust, and trust is faith. That resonated with me. I'm getting to a question here. There's so much. There is so much in you and in what you bring. So, what is the question? When did you start leading? For how long have you been leading your meditations? Like with maybe groups, like in a larger way, like you led us recently in the group healing meditation.
Probably 7-ish years, I guess. 7 or 8 years. I kind of left. So I left social work because I got burnt out, and I had a few decades of doing that. And then I was going to take a break, and I had done a little training over the years, and I got a job as a consulting and training and helping design workshops for companies and then delivering them around the world. And that was like Chevron, ExxonMobil, and Saudi Aramco, kind of leadership, but culture change. And it was all high risk industries. And it was supposed to be a break, but it ended up being I've been doing it for 20 something years, but now it's part-time-ish kind of stuff. And when I started on my own again about 7, 8 years ago, I didn't want to be a therapist per se, because I wanted to incorporate what I believed in and more alternative healings and spirituality. And I just wanted that to be, that's my language, that's my day. If you're aligned with that, work with me. If you're not, please move on and go find the right person. I'm not the right person is all that means, And so, so it's been about 7, 8 years. I started doing my own workshops. I tried working from home. I didn't like it. So I got a little office near my house. So I have a little group space. If I want to do a workshop, I can do it here. And the meditation I did in the master class, it has just sort of evolved. I trained in Reiki, but I don't consider what I do true Reiki because I don't really follow all the exact stuff I learned in Reiki from many years ago. I feel it. I feel it in my hands. I feel the intuition. And I just sort of listen and follow. So the Ho'oponopono piece that I did in the master class, that kind of came in. And what I found is I found people go into silence better if they're not used to it, if they have something to do.
Yeah.
So the Ho'oponopono piece is giving a person something to do to participate in the quieting of themselves and the settling into their true self, divine self. I don't know that I could easily do the meditation without it, but then I think people struggle because they don't know how to just sit in silence and their mind keeps going and coming and keeps going. So if I give you something to do, which is the Ho'opono piece, which is a blessing to me, it's a way to bless. Then now you can participate with me in the guided meditations. And they started as one-on-one tools. I'll share a quick story. A woman that came to see me, she knew she was very stuck. And she sent me pictures, like her house was filthy. She had molded pots and pans and stuff in her sink. She just didn't have the energy to even clean her environment. And she knew she was stuck. And I told her, I said, the worst thing we could do is talk about any of the problems in your life. I was like, you're already too tuned into that. And that's why you're all shut down. And I said, we're just going to go into silence. We're going to bless your energy centers. And that's all we're going to do for a little while. And if you feel like you need to talk to me about something, you do that. But otherwise, you don't need to go and start sharing all the trauma and all the stuff in your life. And I was like, please don't do that at first, because you don't have the energy to do it. Like you're depleted. And we just started doing the energy work, and gradually her energy started improving. And then she started sending me pictures of like a clean sink. She started cleaning pots, and then she sent me then it was a clean room, and it was this unfolding of her energy returning. And then she gradually started sharing her story through there. But it was like, I knew the energy piece is where the healing would take place. If words came with it, great. If they didn't matter. If that makes sense. So anyway, all that's part of the meditation and how that's all come about. So
that is so awesome and amazing. And what the intuitive hit I'm getting is that it's like you are like a fertilizer in the spiritual realm. So you're like fertilizing souls with love.
That actually was one of the subtitles. Somebody was there. There was like a fertilizer for the soul kind of thing for one of
There you go.
So no, thanks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I don't know if part of this, but because I wanted to ask you the next question. You share 5 visualization tips that help one of your clients. I don't know if it's the same client, to transform a business. Which one do people struggle with the most?
So it's not the same client, but this is the chapter you're talking about. And I think the important part is the visualization is not what's going to cause anything to manifest in your life. It's a technique. And if it works for you, then it might result in something. But if that technique's not doing it, then it's not. And for her, it was about her business, and she was struggling in her business. And she kept affirming getting more clients. And I was like, well, as long as you're getting more clients, that means you're still lacking. And so you're not succeeding because you're not further along in like this place of consciousness of you being successful is very different than you wanting to be successful.
Wow.
So I had to get her to like, you're succeeding, and what are your clients saying about you? And are they referring people to you? And how excited are they about your work? And she could feel that, and she started hearing those thoughts, but feeling the feelings of those thoughts. And those, so Neville Goddard would call it thinking from the end, right? It's I said, you got to get past the wanting of clients to your good. And she started playing with that. And Natalie, you used the word earlier, ponder, and I love that word because it's we are awareness and love at all times. And so thought is a tool. All thoughts are vibrational realities, and there's one substance manifesting stuff we don't like or stuff we like. So when she was able to go to this space of, you're already successful, tell me about that. What thoughts does she think? What feelings does she feel? Like, let's get the energy of that going, which is a state of being, a state of consciousness. And as she kept practicing it, because it is practicing, it's pondering the right thoughts, it's pondering the better thoughts, and it's pondering them so much so that you feel them. Because if you don't ponder it long enough to feel it, it doesn't work. That's why visualization can fall flat, because if you're it's just a mental thing, it's not going to work. It's kind of like the magnifying glass on the leaves. If I keep moving it around, nothing happens. I literally have to rest it and be still and know and leave it there. And then it ignites on its own. I don't have to do that part. I have to leave it be in a space. And as she did that, her business grew, and that's what that story was about. So it's kind of like affirmations or visualizations or mind movies or whatever. They're techniques, but are you lingering long enough for the feeling to shift? And if your feelings are shifting, that's an indicator you're shifting into a different state of consciousness. And that's where the magic happens, as if the shifting consciousness happens.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So my beautiful Natalie.
Yes. Thank God I'm conscious enough to, remain slightly conscious of what's going on here. That, it's like somatically integrated consciousness work, consciousness development. Mm-hmm. That's because I'm a hands-on body worker, mm-hmm. and a lot of energy comes through me as I dig into people's bodies. And I've done that since I was 9 years old. But what else? What else would I like to know? What else would the audience like to know right now about you? So did you say you're in Virginia? Or no, Louisiana. Do you?
Yeah.
Louisiana. Okay.
South Louisiana.
Okay. My husband just got back from there from a golfing trip. Okay, let's see. Flowers. Let's go to flowers. Which are which plants are your favorite? Do you have specific, name 2 of your favorite plants and
Sure.
maybe why they're your favorite?
So there are different kinds of gingers. They're called curcumas, which is what these are. And there's a whole variety of them. Some like these grow from the bottom up, and some grow like on top, if you will. But they're curcumas, or what's called gingers.
Wow.
Well, this one's
called one of your favorites?
Called a
Is that a favorite for you?
They are. They're unique. They bloom their blooms last like a month or so, and they bloom all summer, and they go dormant. They just disappear in the winter, but then they come back and then they do their thing. So in general, those are a favorite, and I've been collecting different varieties of them throughout my garden. I tend to each year there's different favorites that happen, but as a consistent favorite, it would be different types of gingers and curcumas. They're yeah, that would be it.
I'm not even aware of this kind of. I do have a green thumb. Mine is orchids. I grow orchids.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
So
Yeah. And the dirt part of the divine dirt was just because I was using my garden photography as a way to, everything has an energy to it. So it's just a way to bring in more energy to the book, to the writings. And so the divine part was just to capture the essence of what my writings are about. And the dirt part was to capture the photography piece of it. And so that's how Divine Dirt kind of got married together. And then in the design part, there was using two different fonts. I want to say my husband came up with that idea. And so there's more to come. I want to do a little Divine Dirt mini series. And what I mean by that is each book would be a smaller book, still with photography, still with messages, but they would each have a topic and exercises. So like Divine Dirt on meditation. And so that would be a little mini book. Divine Dirt on just manifesting like abundance. And that would be a book. And another one on gratitude and appreciation. And like that would be a book. So I kind of have this, they just start by little things floating in my head. So I pictured a little Divine Dirt mini series. So they're just smaller. They're each one's they're not quite the animal as this one, but still pictures, still guided pieces to exercises and journaling and that kind of stuff. So yeah,
I love that idea, and I can actually see that in offices beside people's mouses, their computer mouse. And yeah. I could see it being like a meditation series because we don't need to, but it's like focusing on an emotion like thankfulness or gratitude or patience.
Yeah, it's like we tend to think we need a lot of thinking to manifest stuff, and it's actually the more thinking you get, the more you're diluting things. It's like the magnifying glass. What's the right phrase? And I just need to linger on it to get the feeling of it going. And sometimes an exercise I will do, I was doing it this morning, is did you hear the great news about Michael? And I'll just start writing as if I'm hearing a conversation, and people are just going on and on and on about all these great things going on in my life, and you get into the feeling of it. But every one of those thoughts that come is from that space, that state of consciousness of, it's like we would love heaven on earth, but we really don't ponder heaven on earth. It's like we would love our life to look like it's heaven on earth, but how often do you truly ponder yourself happy? It's like, do you ever do that? It's like, it's like, I can't generate the consciousness of it if I don't rest my magnifying glass on it. So it's like, ponder yourself happy, genuinely happy, like on a gut level happy, because it's different on a gut level. It's like you're just genuinely happy. But it's like, most of us aren't, and we don't ponder it, and we wonder, why the hell aren't we?
I love it.
How often do you truly ponder yourself genuinely, truly loving life and happy? It's like, practice that 5-6 times a day and see what happens. So
I I love that. And
Wow.
you know, Michael, every time I want to ask you a question, or do you just, Natalie, ask you a question, then the next question I highlighted was for you. So I'm going to ask you the following question, and then
Yeah.
you can ponder upon that. I'm going to play our beautiful sponsors video, and Natalie is quickly going to show us Masterpiece, tell us a little bit about Masterpiece, and then if you can answer the question, I would love that. I absolutely love your phrase, and I had to practice the second word, but I will tell you, I will go like this. This is the word I was practicing. Be on an island of coherence in a sea of chaos. What does that mean to you?
Okay.
So we will come back and hear your amazing answer. I need to quickly play our sponsors video. Thank you to Masterpiece for sponsoring. We cannot wait for your 8 authors to come along and share their journey with us. Here we go.
Is filled with toxins in our air, water, and food and cause you to feel off. Masterpiece cleanses these toxins out. Its natural blend of volcanic minerals removes the toxins and supports better sleep, focus, and energy.
It's compatible with your internal environment in which it goes. So you take 5 drops under the tongue twice a day.
It's clinically proven and has thousands of testimonials. Try it today.
Thank you. Thank you, Masterpiece. We love you, and I love your product. I use it way more than 5 drops morning and night. And I hold it in my mouth. And one thing is it's been proven through its testing to remove 70% of the glyphosate out of the body, which is a spray called Roundup that is on most wheat. So it goes in and it grabs the glyphosate with its little net, plus all kinds of other things. And glyphosate is actually an antibiotic also, in case you didn't know. And it's a problem for our gut. So Masterpiece helps just to clean up the toxins inside so we can sparkle better.
Thank you, Natalie. My beautiful Michael.
Yeah. So this is what you're referring to.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to read it. It started by a quote I had read, and she's a Nobel, she won not the Peace Prize, but in science, right? And she says, when a system is far from equilibrium, small islands of coherence in a sea of chaos have the capacity to lift the system to a higher order. And what I took by that is just each of us that's a little more grounded, centered, settled, being in some sense of calm, become that for the level of chaos around us or people around us or, the store you're in, the home you're in, the airport you're in. I just was in one, so that's why that comes to mind. But it's to me, it was not underestimating what influence you centering yourself, and you can do it just for you and no one else. And I highly recommend you do it for you. But it will have the side effect of helping others. My buddy, and I kind of share this, his name was Joe. He was very hyper individual from New Jersey, strong accent, and he just was always wired up. And he told me one time, he goes, I just get calmer being around you. And at that time, I practiced meditation a lot. I really practiced trying to be more centered and stuff. But when I was reading this quote by her and I started writing this piece, that memory with him came to mind. It was like somehow my calmness helped him, And I think, in today's world, as chaotic as it can feel, especially if you watch the news, it will seem even worse. There's still a great amount of well-being going on that completely gets lost. But I think the more of us who can have a daily practice of centering and quieting and silence, and there is a connectedness among us, whether we see it or not. So without knowing it, without even planning on it, you are helping the larger system.
So my beautiful viewers, can I just say quickly, it's a wrap. Our amazing author, Michael, thank you for your questions. Thank you for your amazing book. And my beautiful viewers, you are in for a treat. So I wanted to ask beautiful Natalie if she can also say her goodbyes and her thankfulness and tell us how she, please Natalie, how do you feel? And I will then go over to Michael and quickly ask him how he feels. If they ask me, I feel, and Natalie, how are you feeling?
I feel amazing and so much calmer. And it's just like firing so many wonderful memories. So I'm going to focus on more happy. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
Michael?
No, I feel great. I appreciate the questions. It's always fun to me to just have people ask questions and then, I don't know, see what the hell comes out of your mouth. Sometimes that works out well, sometimes maybe not. But I felt like today went well. Appreciate the opportunity to talk about Divine Dirt. And so thank you very much for having me today.
Thank you. So my beautiful viewers, we want to say thank you so much for being with us. We're going to play out with our sponsors video, and then we will say have an amazing day. Please look after yourself. Mwah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Is filled with toxins in our air, water, and food, and cause you to feel off. Masterpiece cleanses these toxins out. Its natural blend of volcanic minerals removes the toxins and supports better sleep, focus, and energy.
It's compatible with your internal environment in which it goes. So you take 5 drops under the tongue twice a day.
It's clinically proven and has thousands of testimonials. Try it today.